Gig workers. They often get called things like lazy, unintelligent, entitled, and skillless, just to name a few. In this docuseries, we talk to the people who are a part of a new and kind of confusing to some way of making a living in today's society. We will get to know what career field they were previously in and what drove them into entering the gig economy. You will get an inside look into the real people and not just a name and a picture on a phone screen. Welcome to our appealing lives. Today's episode is featuring Michael, aka HustleCLE. Let's hear about his experience in the gig economy. What type of work did you do before you did gig work?
Spent over a decade in restaurant management. My first W-2 was Pizza Hut. I was a delivery driver at Pizza Hut. I was in school. I ain't take it serious. I'm in school. I'm just delivering pizzas, making little cash, whatever. I took this class though when I was in school called it was called Employee Psychology. Be really interested because and emotions I had at work they was talking about in class. So I kind of started looking at my job kind of through that same lens, and a manager got promoted and he was awful, god awful. And as a driver, the operation has to run smooth so I can make my money, because even at a young age, I always was about my money. So I went to my manager. I said, Miss Lori, because I can't work with this dude. I just want to manage one day a week. I just want to do Tuesdays so I don't have to work under this dude no more, because it's awful. Excited to even hear me say that. Like she was so excited, it made me nervous. Like, damn, what the hell? Like, what? So they put me through, did a little 1-2. Like a few weeks later, I'm running my own shifts, and turns out I was actually pretty good at it. Was pretty good at getting people together, working together as a team. I'm the oldest of 3. I played sports my whole life, so that kind of stuff was natural. But and then eventually I moved up and became a general manager. When they offered me $42,000 when I'm 23 years old.
It's like, sign me up.
I was like, hey, you can't tell me nothing.
Right.
I'm rich. So I get promoted, and I was always just really good at the job. So I naturally moved up, became a training manager, eventually became an area manager for Pizza Hut. But underneath different people, hated the people I work for, man. It's rare you run into people that you work for that are actually really good leaders. But ended up jumping from Pizza Hut to Wendy's, and kind of did the same thing at Wendy's, but Wendy's was a different scale because it's a bigger company, it's a lot busier. And it was something that I could kind of prove, right? The whole stigma when I went to Wendy's was, oh, you did it at Pizza Hut, but this is the big leagues.
Yeah.
Wendy's is different. So like, okay, like let's see what it is. And I was really good at it. Had a really good leader and a guy named Eddie that he really helped me kind of learn a lot of the things about leadership and the nitty gritty. And then eventually went to Dunkin'. And the only reason I went to Dunkin' is because I wanted to start my own business. And I looked at Dunkin' as like, oh, I could get in at 5 a.m, be on 2 o'clock, and then I could work on what I want to do on the side.
Got you.
Eventually it fell, right? It fell through. So I started, after that fell through, I kind of entered a stage in my life where I'm supposed to just invest in me and really just dive into what I want to dive into. So I moved up to Dunkin', became a district manager, and then, that's really my work history, W-2 wise. But on becoming a restaurant manager for as long as I did, but I saw the opportunity.
Yeah.
I saw the opportunity, and I was one of those kids that, oh, I want to be a doctor, lawyer, any of those. Right? That was never in the cards for me. Growing up, it was sports or bust for me,
Yeah.
for real.
Right.
So
Right.
like when sports wasn't gonna be a thing, it's like, shoot, what the hell do I do? So went to that's what I'm supposed to do, right? If everybody tell you go to school and do that, but not too much in school resonated with me. But that class I took, the employee psychology, it really always stuck with me. So that's kind of why I dove into management. And then as I got into it, out those young, confused kids like myself, hey, some real adult money in place.
Right.
Not just a dead end job, right? You can make something out of it, use it as a stepping stone to have more control in your life. So
That's
that's
perfect,
kind
man.
of that's what it was for me.
That's perfect. And that kind of segues into the second question, which is what led you to get into the gig economy.
So when I was looking to start that business, we was going to open up a Jamaican restaurant about 4 or 5 years ago. Me and a former love interest and some partners we had. Um, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do DoorDash because I want to do some market research. I want to see what our competition looks like, how I think we stack up to it, and then also scan the area for properties. So that's initially why I wasn't making no money doing it. I sucked at DoorDash then, right? I was just there enjoying the time and and just seeing what's going on. And I'm taking pictures of I'm looking at it through the lens of a restaurant manager. So I'm looking at their cleanliness, I'm looking at their procedures, I'm looking at their food safety, their customer service. That's why I was doing DoorDash, was to kind of get that insight on, okay, what these other businesses, how do I feel we stack? What do we need to work on? What do I know we do better? And that's why I even had an account in the first place. Fast forward 4 years later, actually this past December, I had got grown, just tired of my vice president at the Dunkin' franchisee I worked for. Right, it was a growing thing, and that's a whole long story in itself. But
Listen, we here for it, bro.
but eventually, after everything was said and done, I had put my 2 weeks in there. I had already got reset up with Wendy's to start back in January. I gave my notice in the beginning of December to let them know I was leaving. And then in all saltiness, she was just like, well, you could just go now, right? And I'm like, damn, after all I did, this is what it is, right? There ain't no severance package, nothing. Just,
damn.
Oh, and no phone call, nothing. Just over the email. Everything deactivated, all of my stuff deactivated instantly. So,
oh, that's dirty.
I had planned to take a little break in between, but not a whole month break. So I'm like, all right, let me get on this DoorDash. I'll get on DoorDash, make a little money, doing this in between jobs. And I'm going out there the first couple of days. It's December. It's Cleveland. It's snow. It's cold. And so, I'm thinking, oh yeah, we can make some money out here, right? Yeah, we gonna make money. I go out there, man. I'm just ping ponging around the hood all damn day, just taking $4 orders, $5 orders, just ping from one hood spot to the next. One hood spot. I'm going to crispy, crunchy chicken. I'm going to Vienna's and and all these places in the hood. And I'm like, man. And then I locked my key. I locked myself out my car. It was horrible, man. Horrible first couple of days. So I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way to do this. Like, I know this ain't the way. And then I'm in the hood too, so I'm just I'm at every garbage McDonald's, rallies, and dealing with that too. On top of the fact that I'm not making any money. You know, these like $4 or $5 orders in the snow.
Right.
So I go on YouTube, and you know, that's why I find like your driver mics and the Bentley Scoops, and you know, those big ones that are out there. And you know, those channels are really helpful for beginners, right?
Yeah.
Because they kind of teach you the basic principles on dollar per mile and what my hourly should look like, and you know, stuff like that. So, you know, as I continue to do it, I get a little bit better and better, but not good enough for me to want to do it full time. I'm telling my fiance, boy, I can't wait till I start back at Wendy's, because I'm just picking up nickels, doing this DoorDash, and this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. I can't wait to go back to the W-2, because you know I made very good money working at W-2. So I get back to Wendy's, and they put the worst thing they could ever done was they gave me a month of training so I could get comfortable. I was already there. So what I looked at it was, oh, I got a month where I could just work my hours and go, and and not have to worry about nothing for a whole month.
Right.
So I used that time to do DoorDash. I was doing DoorDash on the side and that. But now I'm utilizing the things that I learned, and then I get further in the rabbit hole. So that's when I started discovering like the Pedros and the Nugs, the more finances, you know, just that next level into the whole gig work thing.
Right.
And now my hourly is creeping up to like 18, 19. I'm starting to make a little bit of money. And then there was one weekend my fiance was out of town. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just work. I'm gonna do all day on DoorDash on a Saturday. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. And I worked like 11 hours. I made like $280. I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize it until I got home, because I was out there driving. It didn't really feel like I was making any money for real. I wasn't getting like any crazy orders or anything like that. I was just picking up orders and dropping them off, and then I did the totals at the end of the day. I'm like, man, I made $280.
So wait a minute. And
then I'm looking at the YouTube, and I'm like, man, I could do what they're doing, all right? And YouTube was always something that was always spoken about to me. And I actually was going to be something that I was going to start when I was going to open a restaurant. I was going to document that whole process of here I am. I'm just a regular dude. I don't have any type of big money behind me or none of that. And we about to just get this thing popping from the ground up, and I'm going to film myself. I want to put it on the internet because I want other people to know that if I could do it, you can do it.
Right.
And you know, I'm always been kind of a personality that I'll say some stuff. And so people always tell me, oh, you should go on YouTube, you should do this and that, whatever. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I could do what they're doing. And now the money's starting to make sense. And now, okay, I'm out of training now. So now the whole load of all this bullshit that's going on at Wendy's is now on my plate. Yeah, here's these restaurants. Here's what's wrong, and it was bad. Oh, it was bad. I was like, damn. Whew, we gonna have to grind it out. We gonna have to put in some hours to fix some of these issues that are in these restaurants. And after 10 years in, I've been a fixer for every single company I've worked for. After 10 years, bro, it's not appetizing. Those flowers that you receive for fixing something after 10 years, they just it doesn't matter anymore. we have been there before, and it's provided me with no reward at all. So I'm calculating in my brain, like, okay, how much money do I got to make a day to kind of make it make sense financially? Because at the end of the day, I'm a grown man. I got a 7-year-old boy. I got a fiance. I still got to make that money, man.
That's right.
Um, but then I started realizing, man, I could definitely do this. I made $280 on a Saturday, not even knowing what the hell I'm doing for real. Still,
Right.
imagine if I delved into it full time and it became a thing. And one day, the situation at one of the restaurants was just really bad, and me and my fiance, we went to a bar afterwards, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to quit, and I'm going to do this DoorDash YouTube thing full time. And God bless her soul, my fiance. She was all for it, always supportive, and said, yeah, I know you can do it. And I'm like, okay. And the only thing that I was holding on was the word I gave that man, Eddie. But shoot, at the end of the day, I got to do what's right for me. And I saw the opportunity for me to do something for myself. And I saw that realistic avenue. It was right there. And I couldn't not do it. I had to do it.
Right.
And that's what kind of led me here. To making YouTube videos and doing DoorDash full time. You know, that's what led me here.
Right. And I want to tell you, man, I really love your content, bro. That's as you know, because I'm always in the comment section. Like, me and you always going back and forth. The reason why I love your content is because it's like I feel like I'm right there with you. And a lot of content creators, when they look at why they're not growing, or they say, why am I struggling? It's because sometimes they don't make you feel included. And that's something that I feel like you do very well, from the way you enter the car like you in the WWE. Like he got the music. Like, bro, that's how we feel. Like I literally feel that way when I get in the car. I turn my music on, I'm excited, I'm pumped. That's how I get myself motivated. So it's like it's super, super, super relatable. And that's why I just want you to know that, like, keep it up, bro. Like, really keep it up, because what you're doing is not really seen right now on YouTube. And that's what drew me to the channel. I even showed my wife, and she was like, yeah, I see why you like this guy. She's like, this is dope. She loves it, and she's not even into the ride along. So the fact that you got her attention, that shows that you're doing it right, man. You're really doing it right. So I just wanted to salute you, man. For real, I wanted to take that time out to salute you.
I appreciate that, man.
You know,
and that's what I wanted it to be, though. It's a ride along, right?
Right.
I want you to feel like you are riding with me, whether it comes, because if you're sitting in the passenger seat, like what Sarah experienced basically when she came to town, is what I want to provide on video. I want to tell you about what I'm taking. Right, this is why I'm taking this and this and that. Like, give you a little value on that. But it's also a ride along. You're gonna hear me rant about whatever little bullshit just happened.
Right.
Whether it was a restaurant, whether it was some person in the traffic. You're gonna hear the music that I'm listening to. You know, I want y'all to hear all of that. Mike and his feelings today. He got that Drake on repeat, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or he bumping that old Gucci. There go old man over there bumping that old ass Gucci. Yes, sir. Okay? It's a ride along.
Yeah, and that's how I felt when I watched the Sarah video. I felt like I was in the back seat. I was like, damn, I feel like I'm right there. Like, this is crazy, man. Like, I love it, bro. I love it, man. And I don't know how you feel about speaking about family, because that was my next question. You brought it up about your son, so I was just gonna ask about your son. So do you have any children, and if so, did they play a part in you making that decision to get into the gig economy?
I did. So I have a 7-year-old boy. Did they have my son? Not really, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to provide for my family regardless, whether it be a gig economy job or a W-2. But my YouTube, the YouTube is something that, you know, I want to have out there for my son. As anybody else, is kind of just a blueprint of what it means to hustle, what it means to go out there and get it. There's so many, you run in management, I run into so many young men that don't seem to have this value in them or understand like what it means to be a grown man in today's society. And then, you know, the communities that I'm in, a grown Black man in today's society. Yeah. It ain't easy. And you really got to have that grit. And one of the things my father always instilled in all of us is that, you know, there's always going to be somebody more talented. There's going to be somebody faster, stronger, all of that. But you can control how hard, how much hustle you have. And that's what I was growing up, man. I was a half Asian kid, skinny kid growing up in a Black community playing all three sports. So you know, I always had to operate with a chip on my shoulder because they see skinny little Asian dude coming out on the field, on the court. Oh, I'm a target. I'm a target. They early on, they look at me like, oh, that dude is sweet. We about to test him.
This gonna be easy. Yeah.
So I always, at a young age, always had to kind of, you know, let it be known that I'm here and I'm for real. But it requires so much. You got to have grit. You got to be able to deal with the ups and downs and get through it. And really, that's what the channel, especially for my son, and especially with the situation that I have going on with my son's mother. I want to make sure that there's always a piece of me that he's able to take in, no matter where he and his mother is at versus
that's a fact. Got you. That's a fact. And you that was a perfect answer because it ties into your name, your channel, and everything. So great job. You killed that response, man. What apps do you primarily use?
DoorDash and Uber. I am on Grubhub. I am on Instacart. But so far, and mind you, right? Anybody out there watching, I don't claim to be an expert on all these apps. I haven't even been working in this field to even say that I know how to work. I know what the potential is in all these apps. I could be missing out on a ton of money, not being on Spark or not taking Instacart or Grubhub seriously or whatever. But what works for me is DoorDash and UberEats, and taking advantage of everything that those two apps has to offer me, rather than just pouring a little bit into 5 different apps. And
I love that you said that. I love that you said that.
UberEats and DoorDash, man, they pair together so well, in my opinion. It is the perfect pairing. Everything that DoorDash does bad, UberEats does good, and vice versa. And they work together. They just work together flawlessly to me. And I'm never not busy with those two apps. I mean, I be like, I honestly, I enjoy the one time a day I get to park, honestly, because though that's how busy those apps keep me in my market. So I think in my limited experience, albeit, I find it more beneficial to maximize 2 or 3 apps rather than just dipping your toes into 5 different apps and only getting the baseline rewards out of it. You know, because these apps, they're like jobs. They are jobs. Let's not get a mistake. We're 1099. We're self-employed, but we work on their platform. So if we want to get the best out of their platform, we got to play by their rules. We got to give something. And it doesn't make sense to me that that you could operate with a mindset, oh, I don't have to give anything to these apps and they'll just give me everything. That don't make no sense.
None. None.
That is not how life works. That's just not how it works. You gotta give them something. You gotta tease them a little bit. You know, you gotta rub some shoulders and you know, give them a little something to hang on to before you just start snatching. And so that's kind of the mindset that I kind of operate when it comes to the apps. And you know, it's very clear that the apps do want certain things from the people working on the apps. So okay, I could give you what you want from these two apps, and they could still work together and make it beneficial for me. So it's Uber Eats and DoorDash. Maybe, you know, Instacart. I do feel like I'm missing out on Instacart. I don't care for the shopping that much.
Yeah.
I just don't care for the shopping, and DoorDash will flood you with shopping orders anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really felt the need, but I can see how Instacart. But I don't know if I can maximize all three of those at the same time, because Instacart has their little diamond thing or whatever too. So I'm pretty okay. What do you got to do to be diamond on Instacart? Is it worth my time and the effort to get the most out of them, along with doing DoorDash and Uber Eats?
Right, you're right, and I agree with you, man, 100%. I think a lot of people don't take that time out to focus on one or two apps. They want to be this supreme multi-apper. Like I do every app. I got them all. Like sometimes that's not necessary. There's days that I use all those apps because my market is slow. So some days I have to use some of those apps to grab $40 or $50 or $60 over here and then a couple dollars over there. But you're in a great market, so you don't need that. Like I watch the videos. You really don't need it, bro. Like you get bangers. Like, what is your plans after the gig work, or do you plan on staying in the gig economy?
So my ultimate goal, what I'm working to do, is I want to create a physical space for gig workers so like a lounge. I don't want to go into the details too much.
No.
Because it would be kind of a first of its kind concept, at least in my market. But basically, I want to create kind of like a truck stop for gig workers.
I like that. I like that.
You know, with the restaurant experience that I have, I know I could run a very good restaurant and one thing that I feel like we're missing, but we also crave in the gig economy, is a sense of community.
Yeah.
In the gig workspace. When I talk to other gig workers while we're at restaurants picking up or whatever, man, if I say, hey, how's your day going? Man, I rarely get somebody that don't want to talk to me about how their day going. They are ready to spill about whatever has been going on about their day. Man, gig workers, we are human beings. We want community. As human beings, we want community. We want to feel like we're in this together with other people. And it's something that's missing. Where, like Sarah was asking me when she was in town, where do gig workers hang out? Well, in their cars.
Yeah.
In their cars and parking lots. And, you know, I don't know about you, but sitting in my car all day isn't necessarily ideal.
No.
And a lot of gig workers, they travel to wherever they're doing their work for the day. So going back home isn't that we're all so production, so financially motivated that we don't even want to waste that 20-minute, 30-minute drive to go back home and relax during that slow time just to come back out.
Right.
So I want to create a physical space in one of the areas in Cleveland that, hey, you could come hang out, get your little rest in, enjoy, get a quick meal, um, relax, but also I want to offer some type of skill center for the people coming up. What do these kids, what a lot of these kids, they don't want to be policemen no more. Why would they want to be? What do these kids want to be nowadays?
Right.
They want to
wanna
be
content
YouTubers.
creators. Yeah. Mhm.
Where do you go to learn how to do that?
That's true.
Is there a physical place in your market that, oh, there's this dude that teaches me how to make a thumbnail, how to use the editing software, how to do how to do all this. So there's a man. When it came to this, when I had to learn how to do this, I didn't know how to. I didn't know the first thing about a Mac. I didn't know anything about what to do, and I had to learn by calling my brother and utilizing YouTube. I know a lot of people, they need that in person. They need that shoulder to shoulder to really learn. So ultimately, I want to open up my own business. That's why I'm into this. I always knew that I'm not built to work for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I learn quickly, and once I get the information out from you that I need to learn, it's like, leave me alone. I'm ready. I'm ready to do what I got to do. Right? Okay, cool. You gave me what I needed. Get out my way.
Right.
I'm about to put together my plan, and we about to get this going. And it's always kind of created a rift between me and management, because I was the type of manager that, one, I don't really need you. So, and as a manager, if you're supervising me, you feel that, and it makes you feel some type of way, because you want to have a say in the success that I'll have.
Right.
And I'm very much like, I don't need it. Like I got everything I need. I'm ready to go.
Right.
I don't need it. So it's always kind of created that rift, and then people trying to manage me. I'm not somebody that needs to be managed. So when I see that you're trying to manage me, it annoys me. And then and then that part of me that says I don't need you, instead of being subtle, it becomes a lot more direct. And then it creates a little bit of tension in the atmosphere. And it's a difficult situation. I wouldn't want to manage myself. It was a difficult situation,
right?
Because I was always very good at what I did. So it's like, you can't fire the dude because he's producing, he's doing everything he needs to do plus more. But it takes a different type of leader to be able to actually, it takes a different leader, a different mindset for someone to manage me in a W-2. And I've just come to find out it's not many people that could do it. It's hard to manage egos and talent. That's why I respect like football coaches so much. Mm-hmm. You got this room full of millionaires. Like, these dudes are millionaires, and they are prime. These are prime grown men. And these coaches that are in the NFL, they're leaders of men, of successful men, and are able to are able to get all those egos together on the same page. And like Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? The Steelers been whooping our ass, the Browns' ass, for years on years on years. And I look at Tomlin and I'm just like, man, that dude, he's him. That dude is him. He always got them. He got them ready to go, no matter what, every single year, every single week.
That's a fact.
It's a whole lot, man. I know I got an ego, right? So I know that those dudes' egos is times a million.
For real. And a lot of them, they pretty much coached like when they were coming up, because they know the game so well that they pretty much ran the teams when they were in high school. And you know what I'm saying? So now they're at a pro level, and then they gotta be told what to do. Mm-hmm. Good luck. Good luck. How do you feel when people say get a real job?
I feel no types of way. I feel no types of way. One, it's your opinion, right? I've had so many different things said about I knew I could do YouTube because I know I could deal with trolls because I dealt with trolls in real life. Like
Exactly.
my whole life. My whole life. Real life trolls, real life angry trolls, mind you. that are probably a lot bigger and more dangerous than anybody in my comment section. but it's like if that's what you think, that's what you think, right? At the end of the day, my bank account tells me everything I need to know. So if you don't think it's real work, hey. Go ahead. That's on you. Like you could think you are entitled to your opinion. Wrong, right, or indifferent. You think what you want to think. I'm gonna think what I think. You think what you think. We can even debate about it. And at the end of the day, I don't care. Like you can think what you think. I don't care because you know what? I've worked a real job. I've worked a real job, a real hard job, a job that most people that look at it from the outside, just at its face value, would be like, oh hell no. And then if we took it a step further, and if you actually learned what I had to do and go through just to get to that point, to be in that position, you would think I'm a maniac. So trust me, I've done it. I've done the real job, and I went through the grind. I've moved up through the ranks. I've been awarded for stuff. I've done all that. I'm fully satisfied in what I've done in the real job market.
Bingo.
So you don't think it's real work? All right.
Do it yourself.
That's fine. And yeah, and that's another thing, right? When you get into this work, especially if you do food delivery, you're gonna learn if you want to turn a profit doing this. Oh, it's real work. It's not just, and this is something that I think people get so misconstrued. It's not just picking up stuff and dropping them off. Not if you want to be profitable. Exactly. Not at all. This requires as much work as a real job because you have to research your market. You have to invest the time to learn the market, when it's busy, when it's not, what are good areas, what are not. This area looks good, but all these orders are going over here, which are not good. You have to learn this stuff. I could put all the information out there on YouTube. I could give you a play-by-play breakdown on how I work, the particular zone I'm in. But most people, you're not going to make the money I make. Nope. Because I have all of that research and data in my brain, and I've invested into mastering that data that I've acquired over the years, not just working in the gig work, but also working in the restaurants and knowing the trends in the restaurants in the area. So you got to take it serious. And then we haven't even gone into the maintenance and the expenses and managing that because, I'm not managing fryers and grills anymore. Nope. My new pieces of equipment is this cracked phone and my vehicle now. So those are my major pieces of equipment. So now it's okay. I gotta have a system for when I do the proper maintenance on my vehicle. Making sure that I have the right service provider for my phone. And I take all the precautions to making sure that those two, if without a phone in the vehicle, you out of business. You can't do this no more. You can make $400. I could have made $400 yesterday, but if my phone and my car goes down, or just either one of the two.
Either one.
Guess what? I ain't making no money the next day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you got to manage that too, and then turn a profit. Food delivery is not for everybody. It
It's
is
not.
not. It actually, I feel like food delivery has the lowest floor, but it has the highest ceiling of
Mm-hmm.
like those type of niches. And then
Mm-hmm.
like if you do the Instacarts, the Walmart Sparks, the Amazon Flex, those are more so for like your everyday person because you could kind of lock yourself in to an hourly rate, right?
Right.
Because those orders take a little bit longer, but they pay a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little bit more consistent with the pay on those. So those are for your people that are more so on the safe side. Food delivery is for the people that they want to live life a little bit on the edge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. You gotta, cause yeah, food delivery, you gotta really bet on you. Like you
Mhm.
really gotta bet on you. And man, if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna be out there making $10, $12 an hour
You're gonna
looking
be ping
crazy.
ponging around the hood.
Yeah. For real. For real. I think we all started like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just cause you don't know. You're just trying to
Mhm.
learn and you're trying to navigate. So we all start like that. But yeah, absolutely right. Especially with Amazon Flex. I think Amazon Flex is probably by far the most safe thing you can do because it's literally a locked in hourly rate. Like there's no decision making. You just take it and do it, and
Mhm.
that's it. You know what I'm saying? Food delivery requires a lot of finesse, man. You really do need to know your zone. You need to know where you're dropping off. If it's too far, it's taking you out of the zone. It's gonna take you too long to get back, and it's a lot, man. It's a headache sometimes too. I ain't
And
gonna
think
lie.
about this, right? Every offer is a decision you have to make.
Every offer.
Every single offer. So how many just think about how many offers come through your phone every day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make a bad decision on just two or three of those offers,
You
it can
throw off
impact
your
your
whole day.
entire day. And not only that, most of the times you have to make these decisions while you're driving,
Mm-hmm.
while you're keeping an eye on traffic, while
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at your GPS.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make all of these decisions just like that.
Or even in the middle of picking up an order, because
Mhm.
sometimes you get them add-ons thrown at you, especially with Uber.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Ooh,
Uber throw orders at you while you taking a picture. Uber have no respect for you at all. They're
no,
like, here,
man.
take
And
this order,
they
take it.
want to. I like Uber. I like working on Uber Eats a little more than DoorDash.
Me too.
But when it comes to Uber Eats and their transparency, they're worse than DoorDash.
Way worse.
They're
Way
worse than
worse.
DoorDash. That
Way
transparency is
worse.
horrible, and that offer screen is horrendous.
It is.
It's horrendous, and especially with Uber. That's why you got to know your market so good with Uber Eats because you not getting that much information on the offer screen on
Nope.
Uber Eats.
Nope.
And if you don't know your side streets and stuff like that on Uber Eats, you're gonna have a tough time selecting the right offers over
Yeah,
there
it's
because
true.
you got to know the side streets. You got to know you got to know the side streets because you cannot rely on that map being there because it ain't
No.
always going to be there.
Nope. Nope. Especially when they send you a stacked order, you can't see anything. It take up the whole screen, and then you like, what? Where am I going? Like, can I see? Like, so you gotta, and that's another thing you gotta really learn the names of those streets too. That's one thing I do like about Uber. It forced me to learn the name of the streets around me
Mm-hmm.
because that's all the information I would get on a stacked order. So it helped me figure out like, okay, that cross street, oh, I know where that's at. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, boy, Uber is definitely a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the two, I would say Uber really is a learning curve. It ain't just simply just take an order because you'll take an order and you'll think it's good and you'll be 7 miles outside of the zone trying to find your way back and there's nothing out there. And then Uber will try to give you another order that'll take you further away from your zone instead of bring you back. So it's definitely a learning curve, bro.
And I thought Uber
Really.
was trash. The first couple months I had it, I'm like, man, this is trash. Like this is trash. And then I decided, the 1 week it was just DoorDash was just pissing me off. Ah, it was one of those weeks. I'm above 70, but I'm still just getting a bunch of crap.
Mhm.
You're making it very hard for me to play your game, DoorDash.
Mhm.
So that's when I'm like, what, let me dive into Uber a little bit.
Right.
And
That's the
yeah,
best way. That's the best way. See, I started as a rideshare driver first, so when I kind of was familiar with Uber, so it when I went over to Eats, it wasn't that hard for me. But I know for a lot of people, I always say the best advice is really take your time out and just take orders that make sense to you when you first get Uber, and try to focus on Uber by itself before you even, because it's such an overwhelming app sometimes. So to try to pair it with DoorDash and other apps when you first get started, yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. What advice would you give someone who's considering joining the gig economy?
to to test the waters and test it thoroughly before if you're joining full time. Don't think just because you see me or whoever posting videos and we're making this money that you can just go out there and do it, because it's not that. I had 10 years of real life market data on my area before I even got into this, and I still sucked when I started. I was still terrible. I, I, I had 7 years of managing in-house delivery in every pocket of the east side of Cleveland. Like I already knew so much coming in, and when I first started, I sucked. I was terrible. So, so if me, somebody who has worked in the field for such a long time, someone who I'm crazy about analytics and numbers and stuff. I was always a nerd about that stuff, even when I was in my W-2. And when I went into this, I was garbage. I wasn't making any money, and it really helped me a lot being in that 1 month training period to do it part time without having to worry about losing income before I got into this. Please, I please advise people, don't just quit and jump directly into this. You use that last couple months you are at your job to bullshit your W-2 and practice this on the side,
Hmm.
and then make a decision from there, because it's not easy. At least food delivery, right? Maybe ride share, and maybe if you're doing like Amazon Flex or those, maybe it's a little bit easier. I don't know. I can't speak on that. But most people, they think in DoorDash, Uber Eats anyway. And I'm telling you, DoorDash, Uber Eats, you got to learn how to be successful at it, and it requires a lot. And that's not even to say if your market supports that. Even though I feel like you can make money in any market, I honestly do. But some markets is a lot easier than others. Even here in Cleveland, I could make money in any zone in Cleveland, but the zones that you see the videos in, it's just easy to do it there.
Hmm. Hmm.
So why would I do it elsewhere when
Right.
I have an area it's pretty easy for me to do it over there. But
Hmm.
you got to do your research. It is we. I don't think anybody that does this type of content just jumped into it and instantly was just making money. We all had to. We all had to learn and make mistakes and be pretty shitty at the job before before we actually became good at it. So don't
Absolutely.
don't 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 think you can't do it without practice. It's just like any other job. You got to practice. You got to fine tune your craft. You know, you gotta dribble between your legs with the tennis ball, do some drills, and all that before you can start dunking.
That's
All
a
right.
fact. That's a fact. All right, and now just to wrap it up, I mean, any last words overall that you want to give to anybody? If you want to shout out your channel, anything you want to say right now, this is the floor is yours.
Man, just the intention of what I provide to the space, what I feel like I want to provide is that you can go out there and make it happen for yourself. There's so much money out here in this world that you don't have to limit yourself to anything. You know, open up your mind, hold yourself accountable. Accountability is key. Always reflect on. I used to reflect, especially early on in my management career. I used to always reflect each day and be like, what could I have done? What did I do well? What could I, but more importantly, what could I have done better today? And you got to have that self accountability and that growth mindset if you want to do anything in life. But once you learn how to do that, the opportunities are out there for you. This world is looking for people to step up. God damn it, Joe Biden, who's fallen on stage and can barely stand and walk as a president. We are waiting for the next man up in this world. Like, there's so many opportunities out here, and I'm just using Joe Biden as the example because that's the top leadership position in our country, and we're still searching for that next man for that position. So just imagine all of the other little opportunities that are out there in your cities, in your states, in your markets that are looking for people to step up, to be there, to be leaders, to be whatever it is. You gotta hold yourself accountable. Accountability is key.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's well said. But he's gonna be modest, people. He didn't want to shout out his channel. I will go check out HustleCLE, please. It's an amazing channel. Great ride-alongs, fast energy, up pace. It's not your boring snooze fest. No offense to other people, but it's not. It's not slow. So if you can't keep up, then I don't know if this is a channel for you. But it's amazing. It's funny. It's super entertaining. He makes great money in his market. So if you're in his market, especially, and that's another thing I love about it too, his channel, he's in a market that most content creators are not in. I haven't found not one person in his market. So that's also what attracted me to his channel. But go check that out. That is HustleCLE. It's spelled exactly how you see his name. So look over there. You know what I'm saying? And please go shed some love over there, man, because he's trying to grow this channel, man. But that's it. We're going to wrap it up. That's it. I can sit here and talk to you all day, brother, because it's a vibe, man. It's a vibe. But I'm going to try to wrap this thing up, man, because I know we both got stuff to do.
Absolutely. It's all 9:22.
Yeah.
Man, about to
I know
turn this Uber app on.
Right. You got to hit that road.
You got to get a little nice Starbucks action or something.
Yes,
you know?
That's it. That's exactly what I'm about to post up. Starbucks. I'm about to go to the same place. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, man. I want to thank you again for coming through, showing your support, coming through, and just being a part of this, man, because this is really, really important to me. This project is like my baby, man, because I just want to change the narrative. I want to show that there's real human beings that do this stuff. People see us on the phone screen and they just think, he's nobody, she's nobody. No, we're real people with real life problems. We got real issues, but we really work really hard for what we do. You know what I'm saying?
And it's
for
a
the money
choice.
It's a choice.
We chose to do this. We could be doing something. I still have
I'm so glad you said
people
that.
trying to get me to come back to W2.
Right. Same here.
Blowing up on. Like,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
One person that's in my W2 probably gonna see this video. And hey, Royal, I promise you, I look, I got 2 hours for you. I got 2
That's about it. That's about it. I'm telling you, man, my Indeed is crazy right now. I'm getting messages all the time, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, but I'm just, thank you again, my brother, for coming through, man. I really appreciate it, for real.
No problem. My pleasure, man. When I saw the short about this, it really spoke to me because, you know, early on when I was filming, that's what I was telling people I was doing. It's like, yeah, I'm filming a docu-series on the gig economy from the lens of a former restaurant manager. You see how I got that spiel just already ready, right?
Yep.
I'm like, oh man, I see him. I see the short. I'm like, wow, like this is perfect because this is exactly how I kind of look at just my channel basically as it's kind of basically a docu-series of what I'm going through to get to where I want to be.
That's
man,
right.
Much love, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. We're gonna definitely collaborate some more, man. We got to. But
I got a couple ideas in there. You know, I gotta learn how to use this little thingy thing right here.
What's that thing that y'all use? The internet?
Yeah, the whole little penguin StreamYard. You gotta learn how to use that stream. I gotta call my little brother. Hey nephew.
Oh man.
Hey, how you use that little penguin app? The StreamYard. Get down there. How they be making them videos like that?
Oh, we signing off, y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace.